107 pounds, but Hadis has a little bit more experience at 68 fights to Prypayak's 36 fights.
But will they do the same thing? We're going into round number 1, Joe, and we're scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds.
And you know, this has been a fight that's been talked about recently in the Muay Thai circles, so you can be guaranteed that this one is going to be absolutely electrifying, this rematch against Hadis and Prypayak.
Both fighters very, very young, but definitely very experienced. As we saw, Prypayak is the taller of the two fighters. Will that height and that slight weight advantage, I mean, not very much, maybe 0.5 pounds originally, will that really do anything? We're going to see very soon. Both of these fighters know everything about one another. What have they done to adjust? How have they changed their tactics? Have they changed their coaches, their gyms? We're going to see what adjustments both of these fighters made. A nice jab landed by Hadis.
That beautiful long guard by Hadis as well, just mitigating the second punch from Prypayak. Just digs the head down, puts the guard across, you know, just blocking that right hand straight down the line from Prypayak.
And both fighters, like we said, usually in the first few rounds, you're just trying to find something out. Finding your range, usually you find it in the second and the third round by flicking a lot of jabs, but you can already see that Hadis has found his range with that jab, and a beautiful elbow already landed by Hadis. You can see he knows the range already, and that is definitely because they fought before, Joe.
I mean, that's one of those things when you start opening up the round with elbows, you mean that it's all bad intentions. There's nothing but venom behind those attacks, and the intentions are to take the fight to your opponent and put them to the canvas.
Very good point. I mean, if you're opening in the first round where people are usually very calm with elbows, you're trying to slice and dice your opponent and not go the full 5 rounds. And with less than a minute to go, the big low kick landed by Hadis. Hadis definitely got that venom, like you mentioned, behind every shot he's throwing.
Just like the John Wayne Parr documentary, he's definitely blessed with venom from those leg kicks there. Nice upstairs, downstairs there from Prypayak, trying to mix up the levels, keep Hadis guessing there. So I'm tripping over my words a little bit.
But that was exactly what we saw. We saw Prypayak land a beautiful shot to the body, and then Hadis charged in with a windmill of an elbow, just missing the target. And like we said, the early rounds, the shots usually miss by inches. That becomes millimeters, and then in the later rounds, they start connecting a lot more cleanly when both fighters are more tired, but their range has definitely been found.
You know, normally I'd say they're playing chess, not checkers, but they're actually fighting Muay Thai. And that is the end of round 1. Those big overhands, but the stinging leg kicks that I was talking about, blessed with venom, just like the John Wayne Parr documentary. If you get a chance and you're a fan of Muay Thai, go and check that out. One of Australia's great veterans. Oh, exchange for exchange there. Missing the mark there from Hadis. Back into round 2. Scheduled for 5. I'm Joe Comerford, sitting here beside the wonderful Ginger Jemmy vegan Bo.
Thanks for that introduction, Joe. Yes, we are scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds, and we're already in the second round of these two young men battling it out for their rematch. A very nice start by both fighters, both going for it with the combinations. A nice 3-piece landed by Prypayak. Hadis returns with his own combination.
Beautiful work by both these gentlemen. Not quite telegraphing it, not like vegans, how they telegraph their diets to you.
You know there's a vegan because they'll tell you. And unlike vegans, these two people are definitely slicing and dicing and trying to get blood spilled onto the canvas.
That's right, locking up inside the clinch now. Great job there by Hadis, trying to mitigate the over the top there by locking the arms underneath. You know, often I don't really like to see the body lock, but it's good when an opponent is trying to reach over the top and you lock the arms from underneath them and stab the knees in. It's a very good nullification technique to use inside that clinch, mitigate any action inside the clinch. But now we're starting to pick up the pace here, Jimmy.
Absolutely. We've seen Prypayak now just taking it to Hadis, and Hadis very comfortable in the clinch, but Prypayak putting the combinations together. He's setting everything up with that jab as well. He goes for the jab and goes straight to the body. He's landing double body kicks as well, but look how he reaches with the left and goes for the body kick there. And we see it once again. Prypayak using that jab beautifully to find the range and set up his power shots.
Oh, goes for the inside leg, follows up with the right, but Hadis just sits on the back foot and doesn't let him get any of that action unfolding. You could see he was going to go for the leg. He was telegraphing by looking down on the leg, but beautiful display of balance there. One of those secondary criterias in Muay Thai scoring is, balance.
And that was a hard leg kick landed by Prypayak. Hadis has got to be very careful and check some of these kicks as he throws a nice Superman right to the chin. A very nicely disguised shot. He feinted a kick and went for the right upstairs.
Great redirection there by Hadis inside the clinch. Just locks up, puts the leg on the inside of the thigh to break it up. I mean, this is only round 2, but God, it's action-packed. And that is the end of round 2. Make sure to stay with us on SKS Empire Super Fight Boxing YouTube. Here we are for round 3.
We are already starting fast. Both of these fighters, the third round tends to be the most exciting. Both fighters have got the information on both of them. Hadis taking on Prypayak.
Make sure you stay for the upcoming bout. Number 3, Rachan taking on Kiatpetch at 114 pounds. That is going to be absolute fireworks.
Very nicely done by both of these fighters once again in the clinch. But the third round should be more powerful, Joe.
And that was a great stabbing knee just a moment there by Prypayak. Bring it up, straight up into the sternum. Don't try and pierce it. You bring it up and then you push your whole hip through. Takes a lot of gas out of your opponent. Here we are. Hadis really controlling the ring. Oh, that great side control pushes the head down. A very precarious position to be in.
The fighters now in the center of the ring. The referee's breaking them up. Prypayak doing what he can now to push Hadis back. He's definitely got the more power in the hands, but Hadis is very intelligent, very good on that back foot, very good at the counters, and a big right kick just misses the target.
And unofficially, I think Hadis is probably up right now. Oh, big palm across the face, stabs the knees in, but Prypayak doing a good job of giving it back to him.
As you said that, Joe, Hadis lands a big left hand elbow upstairs onto Prypayak's nose. What a fantastic elbow by Hadis.
You can see Prypayak's corner just telling him to push forward, get inside that clinch, stab the knees there. There he does it again. Beautiful work there by the man in the blue trunks. Goes for the body again. I think he smells weakness. Dumps him to the ground. What an amazing job by the young Prypayak.
Prypayak very aggressive, lands a nice right hook upstairs, and he goes downstairs with a 1-2 as well. As Hadis attempts an elbow, missing the target. Prypayak looking like he's turning the tide now.
And I think he might smell weakness in the body of Hadis because he's starting to work that body effectively. Is he going to continue the forward onslaught? Ducks a few punches, goes downstairs, goes up again, straight into the clinch, locks in, stabs that knee in, breaks the posture. However, Hadis turns the tables, has the more dominant lock there, nullifies it back in the center ring.
Prypayak's corner very happy with his performance, and a beautiful check hook landed. Hadis is rocked, and Hadis takes a big combination in the process. Hadis needs to be very careful and not take too many of these. Prypayak very heavy with his hands.
Tries to go for the turn, but Hadis just shifts his whole weight onto him in the corner. That is the end of the round. Make sure you stay. Watch the rest of us. Here, Hadis was looking very open-mouthed in that last round, often a big sign of fatigue. And there is the man himself, Mr. Dear Kiatpetch, the promoter, one of the biggest promoters here in Thailand. Here we are for round 4, scheduled for 5. Continuing the action here at Omnoi Stadium. SKS Empire Super Fight every Saturday. Make sure you stay for the next bout. Rachan taking on Kiatpetch at 114 pounds.
And here we are in the 4th round, Joe. Hadis in the red corner takes on Prypayak in the blue corner. It's definitely been a theater match Both fighters definitely winning one round apiece, it seems like, but I think Hadis, like you said, is getting tired. Prypayak, front foot, lots of body work. Let's see how Hadis does adjust to Prypayak.
Well, they're turning up the heat like a microwave dinner here at Omnoi Stadium. Oh, big dump there from Prypayak, but Hadis tries to shake it off and says, oh no, nothing happened. But in my eyes, that was a very dramatic turn of events.
The crowd are going wild here at Omnoi Stadium. Prypayak turning the tides, lands a big right hand upstairs and a knee to the body.
Takes the back as well. A very dominant performance just there. Taking the back now. It doesn't necessarily score, but it's kind of a secondary criteria of a dominant position. Turning your back can almost turn the whole fight around for a fighter. So it looks like Prypayak may have just turned the tables in his favor. Big hammering elbow straight through the middle there.
Halfway through this round already, and it looks like Prypayak is starting to take control of this fight. Hadis very up and up and eats a big left hand upstairs and a right to the body, and Hadis is definitely wobbled.
And I think, will he give him an 8 count? No. Yes, he will, and that's what I thought. A very well-deserved 8 count. He turned his back and kneed up the middle. He wasn't fighting back. Oh, and a wave off from the referee.
Has waved the fight off that bodywork.
I think that was pretty appropriate. You know, we want to protect our fighters, and Hadis was not fighting back in some of those last exchanges.